Hi everyone, I'm going to react to Demon Slayer Season 2, Episode 15, Gathering. And last episode, Nezuko was just losing it. It started out with her just being this super strong, amazing, and, kicking Daki's butt. And then all of a sudden turns into her just not being able to control herself and almost coming to the point of her killing a human being. And that's when Tanjiro showed up and started singing her this lullaby, and she was about to be in her little baby bitty cute self. And then Daki like Uzui came in, slashed her head off like in such a cool manner, and I'm like, I didn't even notice that he slashed her head off. But then she didn't die, and then the brother showed up, and he had this way of talking that was just getting on my nerves, and there was this fight that was going on between them two, and I'm like, I have no clue where this is going. So yeah. That's what happened last episode. And before we get into this one, if you guys have a reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and please consider supporting my Patreon at patreon.com/FeelMini. And now let's start this episode, and here we go. It was nice to see him talking. Yeah, I love that those little after credits, with the talk between Uzui and Rengoku, just Uzui telling Rengoku that he can never be like him, and basically Rengoku saying the same thing, and then asking Uzui to take care of all three boys. That was fun. And then when he mentioned that how his sword fighting is like a thing of beauty. Yeah, it is. It's so beautiful to watch. Uzui fight with his two giant, beautiful looking swords. Okay. There is one thing that I have been thinking throughout all this, and then Uzui also mentioned it, and that is that Tanjiro should not be able to move, okay? Realistically, he should not be able to move. After all the things that he has been through, he should not be able to move. But he is, so I guess just take it like that. He put Nezuko back into the box, and then he went back and Nezuko, Zenitsu, and Inosuke also joined the fight with Uzui. So it's like all four of them against Daki and Gyutaro. And before they even joined into the fight, Gyutaro was saying how his scythe or whatever were poisoned, and that Uzui should be, like, after all the slashes that after he slashed them like so many times, he should be dead by now, but he's not dying. And then he said that he was a ninja and that he was immune to poison. And then he talked about himself a little bit, Gyutaro was saying how lucky Uzui was, and then he's like, lucky, I guess you must not know anything about me. Like, if you think I'm this great or whatever, then you must be living in a bubble or something or other. I don't know. And then he mentioned how they mentioned the two Hashiras, the blind guy and the one that has real. You see, the one that keeps looking at those clouds. And we only saw them in those couple of episodes last season. I think he's the one that keeps looking at the clouds or whatever. Those two. And he mentioned how the blind guy was so like enigmatic. I think that's the word he used, that you can't really discern what he's about. And then he mentioned the long hair dude and said how he became a Hashira in like 2 months. So it's like, he became a Hashira in like 2 months. That has, I don't know, that picked up my interest more than the blonde dude, you know. And Uzui talked about how in his shinobi tribe or whatever, he had how many brothers, sisters, or whatever, and a whole bunch of them died, and then the father got crazy and he put them all through these crazy trainings to make them strong, and then out of them there was the only two, him and his younger brother, I believe, that came out of it. And his brother was more like their father, who didn't particularly care about anything, you know. They were just using people as puppets. Their wives were just there to make children, and that's basically, he didn't care about them. And Uzui decided to be nothing like his brother or his father. You know, he puts his wife's lives above himself and even other people. And they showed him, well, their master talking to them. And then I noticed the mark on his face. If I probably knew, not that I probably knew, we've seen that mark before, you know. Previously, I've seen it before, but maybe it's because they talked about the mark during the letter that Rengoku's father wrote to Tanjiro, and he mentioned how this mark was this thing. Then I'm trying to remember exactly what he said about the mark, but I can't remember right now. But it's pretty significant. Like, if you have that mark, that means you someone special. And then Tanjiro is like, his mark came from, you know, an accident or something or other. He didn't have it since birth. I'm wondering if their master had it since birth, and you know how that ties into the whole of the show. I don't know, but it caught my eye during the flashback. And Yuzue said that he would do anything for the master, even lay down his life. And then as they zoomed in on Uzui, I'm like, I see the poison, the mark, like it was like dark and sorry, it looks like it was spreading a little bit. And I saw it, but then I'm like, okay, was it always like that? And I just didn't notice. But then Gyutaro mentioned how the poison was spreading. I'm like, oh, okay, so it is the poison. And he's like, he's putting all this act that this poison is not affecting me, you know, and all that. But it clearly is. I feel like if it wasn't affecting him, it wouldn't have shown on his face or anything like that. The poison would have been in his system, but there wouldn't have been any kind of outward sign that he was poisoned or that it was affecting him in any way. So the fact that it showed, it basically says that he is being affected by this poison, maybe slowly but surely affected by it. And then the others showed up, and it became this fight. Two against one, but not really, because once Sunny 2 he didn't say thunderclap and smash, but he thunderclap and flash, whatever. He didn't say that, but you know, his move, when he does his move, I don't know, I feel like I'm excited most when he does something than any other person in the show for some reason. Not for some reason, because most of the time he's just, you know, there not doing much and screaming and complaining and whatnot. But when he's asleep and then he does his thing, it's like this beautiful thing that you get to see. So it's like, I'm always excited when he does that. So he did that, and then he took Daki like up there, you know, on the roof. And Inosuke went up there to join him, and then they're like, okay, the way to kill this demon is to slice their heads off at the same time. So those two are up there trying to get rid of Daki, and then you had Uzui and Tanjiro down there trying to take care of Gyutaro. But then the third eye open on Daki, and she's like, I can see everything. So it's like now it's not a separate fight. It's like these two, because Yugutaro's attacks are also reaching up there to the other two, and Daki's attack is reaching down there to Tanjiro and Uzui. So it's like it's a combination. Oh my goodness, it's a combination of those two demons attacking them two like separately. I don't know, but yeah, it's not gonna be easy to defeat them. And Tanjiro at some point got up there and basically like got all those ribbons and stuck a bunch of them together, doing something, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know how this fight is gonna end. And then the thing was getting all kind of not ridiculous, but they were getting overwhelmed, right? And then you see in the village, you see the three wives. The two of them were trying to get people away from the village, from the situation. And then you had the one, I believe she was the one that was poisoned, and she was making her way slowly over there. And then she got up there and she opened this giant thing, and then she launched all these kunai knives at Gyutaro. And Gyutaro, got rid of them, and some of them stuck Uzui. But Uzui used the attack, and Gyutaro focusing on, trying to deflect all those knives. He used that to launch an attack against Gyutaro. And then you had the one knife that was stuck in his neck, and like he cut off the legs, and the legs weren't regenerating, and then you had the knife in there, and he's saying something about the knives being imbued with the wisteria flower power, which is making it hard for him to regenerate or something or other. And then you had Tanjiro also coming in with sword trying to slice his head off, and then that's where the episode ended. And I'm like, nah, they're not gonna kill him there. Even if they cut his head off, Daki's head is not cut off up there, so it's not gonna kill them. They're gonna regenerate. The point is to slice the head off at the same time. How you gonna do that? I have no clue. And I saw the title of the next episode is like defeating an upper ranked team, and I don't know if they're gonna defeat him in that episode, but it's not gonna be easy, man. Like it's not like they were together, like Daki and Gyutaro. It's not like they were like one person, and then when you slice the one head off, that both of their heads are gonna be sliced off, and that's it. It's like there are two different places, and you have to slice them at the same time. That's not something that can be done easily, in my opinion. So yeah, I was about to say, I wonder if Nezuko is gonna come out again, but somehow I don't think so. I feel like she did what she has to do for during this particular fight. And she went back to being her cute self, and she's not gonna come out. So I don't know. It's gonna be up to these 4, or maybe these 6. Maybe the other 2 wives are gonna join in as well. I don't know. We'll see. Thank you guys for watching. And if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you want to see my reaction to the next episode, you can do so by checking out my Patreon at patreon.com/filmmini, and you can also see the full length of this reaction there as well. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.